time. Adela, are you there?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I
Because
can hear you.
the connection is so bad.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit slow. All right,
Okay,
well,
I increase the volume.
there you go. Okay. And
Okay.
Adela, what did you do today?
Uh, I I was walking in the mountain in the snow.
Okay. Nice. So walking in the mountains, in the snow, that sounds really nice. I always
Yes,
like hiking in the snow.
I'm in the Pyrenees mountains at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's really great. I'm a little bit jealous. I haven't seen the snow for too long. And Carvalho, welcome to class as well. Carvalho, how are you doing?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Nice. Okay. Good.
I,
And
I hope you too.
yeah, yeah, I'm doing good. Um, yeah, thank you for asking. And so, Carvalho, I don't think I've seen you in class before. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil. I
Okay.
live in Rio
Nice.
de Janeiro.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Um, yeah, really beautiful city. And Carvalho, what do you do for fun? What do you like to do?
I basically like to listen to music and play guitar or
Okay.
play football, for example.
Nice. Yeah, I like to play soccer as well. I like to play music too, which is cool. So got a lot in common. And Maria, what about you? Maria, what do you like to do for fun?
I like go to the beach. I love the beach. Um, I I I like to walk and hiking on the mountain. But now I can do that because in this city, in this part of the United States, I don't have mountains.
Okay. Um, and you're in the United States. Where in the United States do you live?
And Florida, Tampa, Florida.
Okay. Remember, we say Florida.
Florida,
It's more like Florida. So just two.
Florida, Florida,
Yeah,
Florida,
Florida.
Florida, Florida.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a tricky word
Uh,
because it does look like Florida, but it's not. It's just Florida straight.
or the other is Atlanta, Atlanta. The other name, the city name that is difficult for me is Atlanta,
Atlanta.
Atlanta,
Yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah. A vine climbing plant. Juliet, what are you talking about?
No, it was about the name of the plant. I find it.
Oh, okay. Right. A vine climbing plant. Okay. We might either say a vine or a climbing plant.
Mm-hmm.
A vine climbing plant sounds a little bit odd. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that. But maybe just a
Juliet,
climbing plant.
Climbing plant. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
that.
a plant. No, it's for Julieta. It's a plant, same the wine plant, no?
Yes,
Or no?
it is
It's
yes.
Parthenocissus. Parthenocissus?
What?
Ah, no. It's in Spain on use a plant similar.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe we call that like a vine then. Or like a creeping vine. Or a creeper.
Creeping.
You could call.
Okay.
Ishmael, welcome to class. Ishmael, how are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you, Joshua. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Good to see you. And so I think we're good. Let's get started with class. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about carnivals. Oh. And so let's have Maria, can you read the title and the next few lines?
Okay. Um, carn- sorry. Carnivals and fairs. Today we will read about traveling carnivals, practice role-playing events at a carnival, tell stories about the carnival, play,
Yeah, good. And read.
read.
Good. Okay. Yeah, really nicely done.
Okay.
And good. Let's go on to oh, let's go on to the next page. Maybe. There we go. And let's have Maria. Can you ask Ismail the first question?
Okay. What is the difference between a traveling carnival and carnival? Carnival and carnival, the festive time before Lent, the festive time before Lent. Mm, uh, the difference is the traveling carnival is the one form uh, to that you can travel on the boat in the boat, and the carnival only is the festival. Sometimes it's when you celebrate cultures, holidays or specials um, parties in some countries or for some culture. For example, um, the Carnival that the Brazil celebrate each February. This party and Florida has a
What was that last word?
and in the other example, and the example for traveling carnival is, for example, here in Florida has a good um, uh, travel um, and the Mexico Gulf. You can go um, uh, of Tampa, for example, to Mexico. Other side is the Miami. Is a good example.
Um, okay, I think you're on the right track. I'm not sure if I understood completely your explanation of the traveling carnival. Um, but yeah, so Rio definitely has the carnival in February. Um, Carnival. Yeah, Ismail, can you explain a little bit about a traveling carnival? Can you explain what they are, Ismail?
Yes, Joshua. Uh, I am not sure, but I think about traveling carnival that they this type of carnival are going to travel uh, along the country, and they have a schedule in different city. They they execute their shows according to this schedule in different cities. Maybe they back to the circus like in the 19th century.
Okay. Um, yeah.
There was circus in 19th century, and maybe this tradition uh, are coming until today with the traveling carnival, Joshua.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so
guess.
circuses are very similar to the traveling carnival. So circus and a carnival are really similar. Maybe a carnival has more games and more rides. But yeah, I think
Mm,
they both started
And,
around the same time in the 19th century.
and I guess that they don't have any religious rules. I mean carnival, Joshua.
Yeah,
Is it true?
yeah, they don't have any religious, maybe affiliations, you could say, affiliations or connections.
Connections, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. I think that's really good. I think we would remove the preposition about. So I think traveling carnivals. Hmm. Okay, maybe we can remove all of this. I think
Mhm.
traveling carnivals travel along the country, and they have shows in different cities. Um, they execute their shows according to this schedule, and they don't have any religious connections. That was good though. So just a couple small corrections.
Okay.
Ishmael, can you ask Julieta this next question?
Julieta, have you ever been to a carnival? What was it like?
to a carnival like people with the mask or the other one?
So the other one, like a traveling carnival.
The travel carnival? Yes, I have been in a traveling carnival at a traveling carnival
Two.
to a traveling carnival. Sorry.
Okay.
In,
What was it like?
Actually, I don't like a travel carnival.
what was the name?
Okay. Um, but so Julieta, what was it like? So this question is more like describe it.
Mm. Okay, you can find a lot of rides, or you can find some little shows, or you can find games um,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
when you shoot things. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's really, really good. Just remember, if you're describing that specific carnival, you could
Mhm.
say there were
Okay.
rides,
Yeah.
games, um, like shooting games, things like that. Um, but just because we're describing a specific thing and not the idea of a carnival in general, we would
Mhm.
just specifically mention that thing. So what was it like? It was cool. There were rides, games, food, things like that. But that was a good answer. Um,
I have
yeah.
I have never been uh, a traveling carnival.
Okay. Yeah, maybe one day. They're interesting. Maybe they're kind of outdated, perhaps. But they definitely happen a lot, and they're interesting. Um, okay, Giulietta, can you ask Carvalho the next question?
Carvalho, what are your favorite things to do at the carnivals or fairs?
Okay, the, my favorite thing to do is to enjoy the music. For example, when
A
when
ride.
right to for example, I'm usually to go to Rio de Janeiro Carnival. In my view, it's very good because a lot of happiness we have in these days.
Yeah. Okay, so like Carnival. But we'd be talking more about these traveling carnivals or fairs. So slightly different. So we're not talking about like the carnival in Rio. We're just talking about the non-religious carnivals.
Carnivals. I just know Rio Carnival. I don't know
Okay.
what is traveling carnival, for example. I
Okay.
think there is no traveling carnival in Brazil.
That definitely could be. All right. Maybe Adela, what about you? Have you ever been to a carnival? Sorry, Adela, are you there?
Yes, I have a bad connection. Sorry.
Okay, no
Um,
worries.
Carnival in Spain was forbidden in a time, but in this moment, all village celebrate this festival more or less. The most important is in Canarian Island, but Cadiz another two. This is um, a festival when when finish the moment you can be happy. Start the moment to reflection in the religion about is
Okay.
is a religion. Yes, is the moment to mm, to enjoy a lot. After that, this is a reflection with a Easter week. Is not a possibility to. Is
Okay.
not. Is not really in this moment that, but is the um, um is about the religion.
Yeah.
Is related with the religion.
Okay. And yeah, so that's really good. In this class, we're going to be talking more about the traveling carnival. So, which is fine. So just the two different types of carnivals. In the US, we'd have, and we almost always refer to carnival as the traveling carnival and not the period before Lent, the celebration. So let's try to do some reading to start out with. Let's have Maria. Can you read this first paragraph?
Okay. Carnivals reading. A traveling carnival (U.S. English), usually sampled called a carnival, is an amusement show that may be made up of amusement rides, food vendors, merchandise vendors, game of chance and skill, thrill acts, animal acts. A traveling carnival is not set up at a permanent location like an amusement park, but is moved from place to place. Its routes are similar to the 19th century circus, with both being set up in open fields near or in town and moving to a new location after a period of time. Unlike traditional carnival celebration, the North American traveling carnival is not usually tied to a religious observance.
Good. Really nicely read. You did a really good job. So a couple small pronunciation things, mostly at the beginning.
Some
Simply,
simply,
simply.
simply
Yeah, good. And then called.
call
Um, amusement.
amusement,
Yeah, amusement.
amusement, amusement,
Amusement. Yeah. Good.
amusement, amusement,
Yeah, and then chance.
chance.
Good. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this first paragraph? Okay, Ismail, can you read the second paragraph?
Okay, Joshua. In, in 1893, the Chicago's World's Columbian Exposition, also called the Chicago World's Fair, was the catalyst for the development of the traveling carnival. The Chicago World's Fair had an area that included rides, games of chance, flag shows, and burlesque. After the Chicago World's Fair, traveling carnival companies began touring the United States. Due to the type of acts featured along with sometimes using dishonest business practices, the traveling carnivals were often looked down upon.
Good. This was really good. Maybe just a couple pronunciation things. Freak shows. Freak shows.
Freak shows. Freak shows.
Yeah, and then burlesque.
Burlesque. What
Yeah.
does burlesque mean, Joshua?
So a burlesque dance could be so like a kind of risque form of dance. Usually it involves women that are dressed in kind of bikinis, I guess, so very little clothing, kind of dance. Or it's kind
Like
of
in Paris in 19th century?
it's like what?
I think it's Italian, no, Giulietta?
No, I think it's French.
French.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teacher, burlesque is so buffon,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
or
so it's an absurd or comically exaggerated imitation of something.
yeah.
So like that, it's a parody, but it's like a variety show, which kind of includes a striptease. So I think they're referring to the second type. It's a little bit more,
Yeah.
yeah. So like dances usually involve like dancing girls. I'm trying to get a picture. Oh man, I don't know why it does that all the time. It's really frustrating. So if we were gonna have like a burlesque picture, like girls like that just dancing would be burlesque. And yeah, any other questions on this page? Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay. And so hopefully everybody understands. Maybe looked down upon. Julieta, what's it mean when something is looked down upon?
Looked down upon. When you do not take serious, when you think it's not important.
Okay, so when you think something is unimportant, when you don't take something seriously, yeah, I think to some extent you're right. I think it's to think that something is not worthwhile, to think that you're above something, to think that you're worth more than something else. Yeah. So I think, yeah, you're pretty much right there. And good. So really well done. Let's go back and look at some vocabulary. And let's start with Giulietta. Can you read the title and the vocabulary words?
Vocabulary: concessions, exhibit, fun house, sideshow, spectacle, catalyst, booth, clown, costume, a mark.
Good. Really good pronunciation, Julieta. That sounded perfect. Especially really nicely done with vocabulary. Okay, and does anybody have any questions about any of these words? Any questions?
Yes, what is a booth?
What's a booth? Okay, does anybody know what a booth is? Okay, so we could say a place in a carnival where you play or can play sideshow games. So yeah, usually the place where they set up games. It can also be a place where you can get food, although usually that's a concession. Um,
Uh, what does a concessions mean, Joshua?
okay. And does anybody know what a concession is?
Is it a place when you give another for money concession? For example, McDonald's has concession on different country in the world.
Um,
No?
I think McDonald's has different stores throughout the world. A concession is a little bit smaller, so it's
Okay.
a small place where you can purchase
Mm-hmm.
food and drinks. So McDonald's would be more of a store or a restaurant, like a fast food chain restaurant. A concession, again, is small. You can get fried dough usually, or candy apples.
Mm-hmm. For example, a flea market.
Free market.
Yeah,
Um,
there.
so the free market is an economic term more than anything.
Okay.
Um, so the free market is economic ideology.
Mm, because in these places you can find vegetables, fruit, and different things.
Um, so yeah, we wouldn't call a concession a free market. So a concession would be more a place in a carnival.
Okay.
A concession stand, really any small stand or kind of booth where you can purchase some food items. Not many food items, but some food items.
Sometimes to exploit concession too
Yeah,
into the petrol enterprise, etc.
I'm not sure what you mean.
In South America, it's normal to have a concession to the big company to exploit the resource, the natural resource, because they don't have technology
Oh,
to have to
Yeah.
extract these resources. They have a concession with petrols or than other big companies, international
Yeah.
companies.
So concede literally means to give something away. So you concede rights to natural
In
resources.
Spanish is yes, in Spanish the word name is for I think is
So
the for friends if
okay, yeah, I'm not exactly sure in Spanish, but definitely So this is where it does to concede is to give away. So they're giving away food and drinks. So these would both be examples of concession stands.
Is the concession booth is similar?
Yes, so they come from the same
But
stem.
the difference is the concession give foods and drinks, and the booth is the games and other things.
Yeah, so a booth is more games
Okay.
and activities, where a concession stand or a concession would be with food and drinks.
Joshua, what does a fun house mean?
Okay, does anybody know what a funhouse is?
Fun house is a place where you can find uh, mirrors that deform
Hmm.
your figure
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ride. Yeah.
It's an attraction in a park or in a carnival.
Hmm. It is a type of attraction in a park or a carnival, and so yeah, it would be really just a place with mirrors, a ride. You can be a funhouse on tracks. There are different types of funhouses, but it's just an attraction in a carnival. So, I mean, there are examples online of pictures of funhouses, but they are pretty varied. So, different funhouses are different things. Does that make sense, Ishmael?
Yes, yes, Joshua.
Okay.
And
And
what does A mark?
yeah, what's a mark? So, a mark
Has it
is
a special
uh,
meaning?
a gullible person. So
Mm.
Mark is just a gullible person, and it's a term that came from carnivals. So what happened was that carnival like booth attendants, people who worked at booths, if somebody spent a lot of money on an impossible game, they would pat them on the back with chalk. So they would mark them with chalk so that the other booth owners would know that that was an easy person who they could take money from. And so they
Really?
became marks.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yes, Joshua.
And spend a lot of money.
Mhm.
Okay. And any other questions? Okay, let's try to fill in these blanks really quickly. And let's start with Carvalho. Can you read the first sentence?
Okay, but I have to complete the sentence, right?
Yeah, so complete the sentence with the words on the right hand side, which you'll be able to see in just a second. Yeah.
Okay. In the first case, fun houses, right?
So Funhouse?
Yes, to complete the gap.
Yeah, so I think my favorite blank is either the Funhouse or the House of Mirrors. My favorite what?
I think my favorite fun house is either the fun house or the house of mirrors. I can decide between them. No, fun house, no. Side. It can be a sideshow, teacher.
Yeah, Sideshow could work. Um, Sideshow or maybe Exhibit could work here. Um, yeah,
Okay.
but I think that's great. Sideshow works. Can you read the whole sentence?
Okay, I think my favorite sideshow is either the fun house or the house of mirrors. I can decide between them.
Good. All right. And Adela, can you try the next one?
I was buying my kids fried dogs and soda at the mark mark stand. No, mark stand maybe.
Not
I don't
quite.
know. No, uh, at the concession
Yeah.
stand when I go to the carnival.
Perfect. So I always and can you repeat dough? Fried dough.
Dough, fried dough.
Yeah. And all right, let's have Maria. What about the next one?
The show was quite a spectacle. They must have spent a lot of money on all of those fireworks.
Good. Can you repeat those
Those the
and
show
spectacle?
spectacle spectacle.
Yeah, spectacle. All right, Ishmael, what about the next sentence?
Yes, Joshua. People who played impossible carnival games used to be called marks because the clone or
Not clown.
clone, both attendants
Yeah.
would hit players' backs with chalk to advise others those people were susceptible to tricks.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand the sentence, Joshua.
Okay. So it's a tricky sentence. So people who played impossible games were called marks because the booth attendants, the people who worked at
Yeah.
booths, would slap them on the back with chalk. So chalk is white powder
Yes.
that would leave a mark um, to advise other maybe booth workers that the player was susceptible to tricks. So it was pretty much a way to notify other carnival workers that people liked to play games and would spend money on games. So if the person had a mark on their back, they could be people could steal money from them, more or less. Does that make sense, Ismail?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and Julieta, what about the next sentence?
Many people are afraid of clowns, but I think they are funny.
Good. What do you think about clowns, Julieta?
No, no, I don't like clowns.
Okay. Why do you think you don't like clowns?
Oh, they make me sad.
They make you sad.
Yeah.
Okay, why sad?
Mm, they are uh, grotesque. They are absurd. That's why.
Okay, they definitely are a little bit absurd, grotesque. All right. And yeah, okay, good. Does anybody have any questions on this page?
No.
Okay. Go to some questions. And Giulietta, can you ask Carvalho the first question?
Carvalho, what are some things that you can find in a carnival?
Okay, you can find some place to have fun. some place to game and buy some kinds of food, for example.
Okay.
It's my idea about carnival.
Okay. What else can you find?
As you can find some kinds of spectacle.
Yeah. Kinds of
Yeah,
spectacles.
yes, and all these things can be good for the person because the person can enjoy.
Okay, because a person.
It can brings happiness for the person.
Okay,
My
it can
case,
bring happiness to a person.
to a person. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. All right, good. And Carvalho, can you ask Adela the next question?
okay. Adela, what's the main difference between carnival and an amusement park?
I think the main difference is a carnival is not permanent in the place, and amusement park is in same place every day, all time.
Nice. Same place every day, all the time. Good. Really good answer. Okay, and Adela, can you ask Maria the last question?
Maria, why are the carnivals sometimes look down upon?
They are done open because you can find the same or the same thing always. For example, the same food sometimes, and the spectacle is common. Other thing is because um, there are all custom in North America, and I think that the people can know um, who who there are there have.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. So something about North America?
Um, and in I think that there is the carnival are done up because it's the a common spectacle in North America, and the other thing is because the attractions are not mm, are not I don't know what to say are not mm, funny or nice uh, mm, for people.
Okay. So they're not fun. Remember, funny would be a joke,
Okay, yeah.
and fun is more of an activity. Um, okay, good. Can anybody else think of any other reasons why a carnival might be looked down upon?
Because sometimes their business is considered dishonest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dishonest. Nice, good. Those are all great reasons. Does anybody have any questions on this page?
Mm.
Okay, let's go on. We can do that. Let's try this actually. Let's start
Oh.
with Adela. Can you read this first roll?
Yes, you're with your nephew At a carnival, your nephew wants to play a circus game, but you know the game he wants to play is probably rich. Convince him not to play the game.
Good. Can you repeat nephew
Nephew,
and rigged
rigged,
and convince?
convince,
Good. Convince.
convince,
Yeah. Convince. Try to get that short I in. Convince.
convince.
Perfect. Good job, Adera. Ismail, can you read this next roll?
You're with your aunt at a circus and you really want her to let you play a circus game. You are sure you can win and you really want the prize, a giant stuffed tiger. Convince her to let you play.
Good. Okay, and let's start with Giulietta. If you are the nephew, how would you start?
I have a question.
Okay.
No,
I know.
that's me, not the
What's your question?
My God, what is rigged?
Good question. So rigged, it's unfair. So rigged is set up or made to be unfair
Mm.
or impossible for one party.
Impossible to win, no?
Hmm.
In the play.
Yes. Yeah, so to be impossible to win. Okay. And good. Yeah, so Giulietta, can you start?
Okay. Um, I wanna go there and play to the hit to the fish game. I can win a giant stuffed tiger.
Nice. And can you repeat stuffed?
Stuffed.
Good. And let's have Caravaggio. What about the aunt? What would the aunt say?
The aunt can say that this is
Okay, just
impossible. Teacher, first I have one question.
hmm
I don't know what's the meaning of a giant stuffed tiger.
Okay. What's a giant stuffed tiger? Does anybody know?
It's a
Yes,
toy, big toy, like a big pet.
Yeah.
It's a great amount of money, for example.
Kato.
Um, no, not really. Let's so that would be a giant stuffed tiger.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
a giant stuffed tiger. Okay, I know it was some kind of slang to express a big prize. I didn't understand.
Okay, so what would the aunt say?
Aunt, the aunt can say that it's impossible to win because the game was performed just for the all wins, the all of the
The game
game
is what?
performed.
Performed?
Yes, just for the all of the game win.
I'm not sure if I can hear you correctly.
Correctly. I mean that some kinds of games is just the table wins, for example.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not real, no? It's same theater, no?
Yeah, it's just theater. And you will always lose, maybe. Okay.
Okay. That's
Adelo.
better.
Yeah, actually, can you repeat that, Carvalho?
I read the sentence.
Yeah, repeat the sentence.
Okay, it's impossible to win because the game is not real. So theater and you will always lose.
Good. And what would the nephew say to that?
But I like the gigant tiger, and if I win it, I give it to my uh, sister.
Okay, if I win it, I will.
Please, aunt. I like, I like it.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's solid. And Maria, what would the aunt say?
Okay. Um, Dear, you can, you never win this game, please. Uh, it's impossible. Uh, I don't, I don't want to play because it's probably you lost. It's probably that I lost my money.
Okay. Maybe we'd say because I'll probably lose
I
my
probably
money.
lost my money.
Yeah, I don't want you to play it because I'll probably lose my money. And maybe we'd say you'll never
You
win.
will, you will never win this game.
Yeah, so can you repeat those sentences, Maria?
Dear, you will never win this game, please. It's impossible. I don't want you to play it because I'll probably lose my money.
Yeah, and can you repeat lose? Lose.
Lose, lose, lose,
Good.
lose.
Lose. Nice. Nicely done. And maybe Ishmael, what would the nephew say?
I trust aunt. Please let me try. I trust myself. I will win the giant stuffed tiger.
Stuffed tiger. Good.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, nephew. You convince me, but I need a yen stuffed tiger in my home.
Good. I think that was awesome, guys. Really good work. Unfortunately, we're just out of time. I do have a class right after this. If you guys want to join, I'd love to have you. Um, but we are just about out of time. Have a really good afternoon, evening, or
Thank
day,
you.
depending. And hopefully, I'll see you guys soon.
Okay.